Hey, everybody. Welcome. See, we got Mike Sampsey in here, Jason Lamb, 351 Cleveland, Chris Usselton, Mo Barrett. Uh, Welcome, guys. Uh, I've been really swamped at work here lately. I apologize. I did not get a guest booked for tonight. So I thought tonight we would do something a little bit different. Uh, Not a lot of people know a lot about me. So I kind of thought we'd kind of have a chat and kind of give you a little bit of history about myself, uh, share some stories and stuff with y'all, and just kind of relax and have a good time. And I'll work on getting a guest for next week. Uh, I put my, hey, Brian B., I put my email in the chat, guys. If anyone would like to be a guest on my show or wants to contact me, countryboycatfishing at gmail.com. If you send me an email, I will get back to you. And I'm going to give it a minute and let some people show up, and we'll kick off and get started. Hope everyone had a good day. Uh, got some good news today. For those of y'all that missed the news about the Catfish Conference, a special event they're doing in Kansas City, Missouri. It was just released earlier tonight. Kevin Palmetto Cats will be part of it. They're doing it November 19th and 20th. Hey, Wild Turkey. Hey, Aaron. November 19th and 20th will be the special event. So it's basically an extra cat con. They still will have the one in Louisville, Kentucky in February. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm really going to do everything I can to make sure I attend this. Hey, Big Slim. There will be seminars just like the regular cat con, vendors, and I know Epic Catfish is going to be one of the speakers. I think he's going to be at both cat cons. There's Epic. Hey, Epic. Uh, so it's kind of exciting. The cat con is branching out. They've got more places in the works to try and get closer to a lot of us. And hey, Dale, and make it to where all of us can attend a catfish conference. They will still do the virtual catfish conference, but it kind of gives us a chance for everyone to get there in person. So, everything willing, I will be at the Kansas City event. It's Kansas City, Missouri. And hey, bottom feeders, it's going to be November 19th and 20th. So that's going to be nice. And I'm really looking forward to it. I'd like to get out and get to meet some people. Hey, Michael Williams. And Ram Diaz, welcome. And it's going to be a great experience. CatCon is growing. The catfish community is growing. And it's really great. Tickets are going to go on sale at midnight tonight. So if y'all want to check out the CatCon website. Hey, Alan, welcome. And, it's a great time. These meet and greets and stuff that we have in our catfish community and stuff. Hello, Chunky. It gives us a great opportunity to get to meet each other, to meet the fellow YouTubers, build friendships and bonds. So it's really great. And the more awareness we bring to these cities and stuff with the cat cons and the revenue that's generated for it, the more we can do to protect catfish as a sport and maybe start getting some of these regulations and stuff changed. Hey, Degabound. So, hey, Outdoors with Otis. So tonight, guys, we're just going to chill, kind of give you a history, who I am, where I come from, and we're just going to have a nice talk, have some fun, kind of let our hair down a little bit. Hey, William Warner. So I'm going to go ahead. People are popping in. I'm going to go ahead and get this started. My mother was a single mother. She raised 4 of us kids. I was the third born. And hey, Kevin, Palmetto Cats. See if I can get it in the picture, Kevin. My wife thinks I'm working. My boss thinks I'm sick. But all my buddies know I'm fishing. Hey, Johnny, J&S. My wife bought me this shirt. But as I was saying, kind of giving a history, my mom was a single mother, and she raised 4 of us kids. I was the third born. And for those of you that are middle children, by the time the third child is born, you're not going to get away with anything. Your older siblings have already tried everything. They have educated your parents, and you are going to get busted. I learned this at a young age. My brothers and sister, I've got an older brother who's 5 years older than me, and a sister 3 years older than me. And then I've got another sister that's 5 years younger than me. But my brother and sister, my older ones, were not always the best role model, you could say. Hey, Larry Oliver. I learned not to listen to my older brother and sister at a younger age. So I'll tell y'all a fun story. I was born in an age before child abuse existed. There was no such thing when I was growing up. And I was a young man, young boy, and my mother worked hard to support us 4 kids on her own. And so us kids were at home alone a lot. We spent a lot of time alone. We had chores. We learned work ethics. And I love my mother to death. But I swear to God that Tyler Perry had to live next door to me, because my mother is the white Medea. That's no joke. She could drive the car with one hand and beat all 3 kids in the back seat and never swerve, never blink, just never miss a beat. And I was young. I was probably in the 2nd or 3rd grade. And I got to listening to my brother and sister, and we were doing chores around the house. And, you know, as kids, you're grumping and complaining about it. And my older brother and sister told me that, you know, next time my mom tells me to do something, I should just tell her to shut up and support me. And sadly, I was not always the sharpest tool in the shed. And this night that my brother and sister told me this, my mother had went out on a date. And she come home and brought her date back, and they were sitting on the couch. And I don't even remember what I told my mother. She told me to do something. So I did like my older brother and sister suggested. Hey, Mario. I told her exactly what they said, that she should just shut up and support me. Bad idea. My mom flew up off that couch, and the beating commenced. And the guy that she went on a date with, he did not hear what I said. So he jumped up and he panicked because he thought she just flipped her wig and went off. And, you know, she went off, the beating commenced. He was trying to break her up and get her off of me. He didn't know what was going on. So that was one of the very first experiences I had where I learned taking my older brothers and sisters' advice could be detrimental to your health. So I quit listening to them. Yeah, pick a switch. Yeah, and it didn't do no good to run because you had to come home at some time. Uh, you were going to be there. So that's where I learned not to listen to my older brother and sister. And I have never forgot that to this day. I do not. I'm not a snake person. I do not like snakes. Uh, when I was young, my brother and sister uh, filled a pair of my pants full of garden snakes. And I slid those pants on, and them snakes were all over me. And it creeped me out. And I do not do snakes. But uh, I kind of had some mean brothers and sisters. It educated me quick. If you were going to survive and you were going to live, you were going to have to fight for it. Uh, I love my family. I would not trade it for anything. Uh, it's been a great experience. Uh, but my mother did what she could with us four kids. We were not the best kids. Uh, I remember one time we had an egg fight in the house with the neighborhood kids. That did not end well. Uh, so we got lots of beatings, but we deserved them. Uh, never I never got a whooping I didn't deserve at one time or another. Yeah, Epic. Same here. Uh, we really deserved it. Snakes can be great uh, bait. Yeah, yeah, Mo Barrett. That snake come up there and he was after my bluegill, and I was having to beat him off. A couple of days before that, I had a snake. He just would not go away. He was actually wrapped up on the basket, trying to get in there, and I like to never got him off. Yeah, egg fight in the house will definitely get you a whooping. Yes, it did. I was not always the best kid. When I was in kindergarten, we lived about three houses away from the school. And for those of y'all, hey, Sean T, for those of y'all that are old enough to remember the one set pajamas that had the little feet and stuff in them, uh, my mother already left work by the time it was for us to go to school. And I was right there close to the school, so I just walked. And I was in kindergarten, and one day I wore my pajamas to school. And it was a small town, small community. Everyone knew us kids, everyone knew my mother. And so they sent me home to change clothes. Well, I never showed back up. So when I didn't show back up, they called my mother and the police and reported me as missing, and I was at home. Needless to say, after they found me, I did not do that again either. Most of my lessons in life, I learned the hard way, uh, but it come in handy. Uh, I'm married now. Uh, I got married at 18 to a woman that had two children already. We had two children together. Divorced 6 years later. I raised my kids on my own. They're grown now, and going on 4 years ago now, I got remarried. Hey, Mark. Hey, Lance. Hey, Justin. Welcome. I got remarried. We have 6 kids between us now. And hey, SF, it has definitely been an adventure. I love my wife. She's really good to me. We found each other late in life because, like I said, I was single for 20 years when I finally got with her and decided to get married again. And we got together, and she didn't like my house. Women are funny about things like that. Hey, Stan. So she wanted to get another house. We had to move. So I told her, okay. And I said, what do you want to do? Well, I bought this little travel trailer and not this huge. Hey, Philip Williams. Hey, Avid. Bex, no real loss. It wasn't this great big travel trailer. It was one of them little Coachman 19-foot travel trailers. And we were going to stay in that until we found a place. And I told her, okay. So that's what we did. I got rid of my house in town and everything and walked away from it all. And me and my wife weren't together very long. We were in this travel trailer. And I woke up one morning, and anyone that knows them Coachman travel trailers, you have the bedroom, right behind it's the kitchen, and you have a bathroom. There's not a whole lot of room there. So, hey, Roger Brown, welcome. I woke up one morning, and she's sitting there at the table drinking her coffee, just watching me. And I got up, and I walked past her, and I went into the restroom and did my morning business. And hey, Miss D, Dan, welcome. I come back and she's drinking her cup of coffee. And man, I'm in that bathroom and I'm really thinking I'm something. I like, man, this woman is all in love. She's so in love. She's sitting there watching me sleep. And the whole time I was in there shaving and stuff, getting ready for work, I was on top of the world. I really thought I was the man. I had a smile from ear to ear. And I come back out of the bathroom and I walk up to her and oldest son just all right, Epic, later. I bent down to give her a kiss and she looked me in the eyes and before I could even kiss her, she looked at me and she's like, I will kill you both. And that just stopped me dead in my tracks. And I didn't know what was going on. I looked at her. I was like, what are you talking about? She explained to me that she had a dream. And she had caught me in some trailer house with some blonde woman. And she visualized everything. And she was literally mad at me. And it was at this point that I realized, she was not watching me sleep because she was so in love with me. At this point in time, she was plotting my death. And I calmed her down and she told me what was going on. And I talked to her before work. And you got to remember, at this time, we're looking to buy a new house. I just sold my house and everything so that we could have a new life together. And I was in the market and we were looking around and I had a real estate agent that were taking me around and his wife ready to kill him because he had a dream about me. Yeah. Hey, setting hooks. Women take that stuff serious, guys. And Justin Poncho, welcome. I took it very serious too because when we went to the real estate agent, he was showing us a house. I asked him, I said, are there any blonde women in the neighborhood? And I mean, this was so real to my wife that she told me, even after I calmed her down, she's like, I know what she looks like. I'll recognize the house. So it kind of creeped me out. And real estate agent, he'd show me a house, and I'm like, are there any blonde women in the neighborhood? And he looked at me funny, and he's like, why? I said, because if there's a blonde woman in this neighborhood, I'm not taking a chance. You're going to get both of us killed. And I kind of explained what was going on to him, and he kind of chuckled, and he laughed, but I did not think it was funny. And I don't know if y'all know this or not, but trying to buy a house in a neighborhood with no blonde women in the neighborhood is not easy. I finally gave up and decided I'm just going to build a house. Hey, Solo Texan. If y'all don't know who that is, that was Ricky's Fishing Adventures. But we started building a house, and that's what we've been working on now, and it's been great. I've got the skills, and I'm able to do it, so I can build it how I want, and it's built with my own two hands, and well, not built how I want. It's built how she wants, because any of you guys that have been married long enough know that you got to keep the wife happy. You don't want to come home and fight with the wife. We've got 6 kids together, like I mentioned. 2 boys, 4 girls. I've got 3 grandchildren with the 4th one on the way. I've got granddaughters and the youngest grandson and a new grandson. And Dan, that would be awesome. Got another grandson on the way, so I'm excited about that. If you do not have grandkids, guys, you're missing out. My wife said she wished we could have just skipped parenting and went straight to grandchildren. All of our kids are grown now, so our work is done. We can spoil the grandkids and send them home, and that's what I do. As a pawpaw, I'm obligated. There is a law that I have to spoil the grandkids and send them home. I give them, if I know their mother and dad are coming to get them, I will give them chocolate and sweets and soda, and I will have them kids so jacked up that their mother will be calling me, asking me what I did, and I just laugh. That's the advantage of being old. It's my turn. I get to enjoy it. I love my kids. My second oldest to the daughter is a blast to be around. She's funny. I really enjoy spending time with her and the babies. We took them and jacked up on Mountain Dew. Yep, Matt. I took her, and my 2 oldest daughters are big like me. We're not small people. And my second to the oldest, we had been putting stuff in storage, and I had this little Toyota Yaris that I bought brand new, and a little coupe, and it had the B&M slap shift in it, and man, that thing would run. And we were coming back from storage, and on this road there's a real sharp S curve, and she doesn't like speed, and I knew it, but being dad, her and her husband are in the back seat. And we got to that S curve, and I hit that S curve at about 60 and slid it sideways and punched it coming out of the corner, getting ready to go into the next one. And she went into pure panic mode. She done tucked her head between her legs and was screaming, "Oh my God, we're going to die." And in the blink of an eye, when I went through that second corner, she realized what she done. And she sat up. All the panic was gone. And she was like, "Oh my God, did you see how far I got my head between my legs?" So she went from "we're going to die" to "did you see me do that?" in like 15 seconds flat. I laughed all the way home. She is a blast. My girls are great. They're a lot more work than boys. I wouldn't trade them for anything. My son, The youngest one, I worry about him. Uh, he's not the brightest. uh, him and his wife got together, and hey, David Hamilton, he was working oil field, and he was gone, and they were just together, and she was doing her part. She was cooking, taking care of the house. She was trying to take good care of him, and he he comes home one night, and apparently she made him chicken as part of his dinner. And this boy, believe it or not, looks at her and tells her her chicken is dry, and then goes over to her parents' house to eat. He takes her home to her mother, tells her mother what happened, and ate with her family. Well, number one, you never tell a woman, hey, Valerie, hey, Kenneth, you never tell a woman their chicken is dry. That's a no no. I would have choked that down. If that chicken was dry, they could have called 911, and they'd have had to done CPR to get it out of me. I told him, son, you don't do that. I said, you'll be lucky if she ever cooks for you again. Uh, so not the brightest. And then instead of just saying the chicken's dry, that was bad enough. He could have went to Burger King or McDonald's or some other restaurant and ate. But instead, he takes her to her mother and lets her mother know that, hey, the daughter you gave me doesn't know how to cook. She's not doing her job. So she catches it from her mother. And he asked her mother if she could give her cooking lessons. I was floored. The level of stupidity uh, just floored me. And to this day, it doesn't matter what it is. And for you young guys out there, hey, Philip, that are getting married and stuff, if your wife's cooking is bad, man, just go ahead and eat it. A bottle of Pepto is a lot cheaper, and an upset stomach is a lot easier to fix than hurting their feelings. Uh, I just, I couldn't believe it. It floored me. And I was like, when they first started telling me this, his wife started telling me this, I'm like, no, he didn't. And she's like, oh, yes, he did. And I had a talk with him. And like I say, I'm really worried about this boy because you just don't do that stuff. And, you know, they got married. She's put on some weight. And, the first thing he does is tell her that her butt is getting big. And he did this in front of me, and I gasped. I mean, I was like, dear Lord, oh my God, I can't believe you said that. Hey, Larry, 3+1. And, I mean, this boy just has not a clue. And I raised him better than this. And I just don't understand it. Back in my day, if you would have said those things to a woman, uh, she would have beat you. Yes, Mo Barrett, I am in Oklahoma. I'm in South Central Oklahoma. Uh, so I really worry about him. But even as a kid, I knew he was going to have some issues. He's very high strung, very hyper, and he moves faster than his brain can function and keep track of what's going on. Uh, this boy shut his finger in the house door, the front door of the house, 3 times. And he done it so close together that the third time it actually ripped his fingernail off. And I cannot understand it because, by the third time, your brain should have kicked in and said, hey, move your finger before you shut the door. But no, it did not. Uh, hey, Eddie. So I really worry about him. He's the only one I'm really struggling with. Uh, our youngest daughter, she was accident prone. Uh, she could walk across the street and trip on a crack. Uh, I watched her roll her hair up in a window, a car window. And I'm not talking about an electric window. I'm talking about the old hand crank window. And she's got her hair caught in this window and she's still cranking and she's yelling ow as she's cranking. And, it's at this point as a parent, you just sit back and you have to ask, where did I go wrong? What happened? Hey, Dave, Gachar, welcome. And, when me and the wife first got together, I made this mistake and said she needed to learn how to season food. Had to dodge a cast iron. Exactly, Lance. I guarantee you, I grew up old school. If any man would have ever going to talk to a woman, if any man would have talked to my mother the way my son talks to his wife, she would have been on Channel 7 News. You'd have seen it, the body tied behind the car and her dragging it down the highway. It's just insane. And, my grandchildren are great. Hey, Lord Sea Fishing, welcome from the UK. Hey, George Ray. Guys, normally we do more in-depth on the fishing, but my mom is 5 foot and she hurts. Yeah, Matt. We're kind of doing a get to know you segment, kind of just relaxing, kicking back tonight, and giving everybody a brief history. Hey, Donald Weir. But I've had a great life. I'm getting up there. Hey, Alicia. And I've met some great people. Young man that's a friend of mine. I met him through work. Thanks, Dale. I enjoy you being here. Young man, I met him through work, and I got him into hunting and fishing. And he wanted to start bow hunting, so I helped him find a bow, get him set up, got him out practicing his bow, shooting it. He become a very good shot, and I took him hunting with me. And, when I say young man, he was in his 20s. To me, that's young. And, I'm old, so. Hey, wandering fisherman. I took him out and I put him in this deer stand up in the tree. And I knew the deer were coming out, where they were coming. I'd already done all the scouting. Yes, Valerie, you don't ever have to ask to share people's links on here. Guys, I am all about sharing links because I want everyone to grow. I want everyone to be successful. Never hesitate to share links, guys. That's where I get most of mine from. Anytime someone shares a link in a chat, I always double check and make sure that I have it. And if I don't, I pick them up. But I took this young boy out fishing or hunting, got him in the deer stand, and it's right during the rut. And I'm sitting there watching them. I knew where the deer were going to come from. And this deer starts raking the trees back behind him. And it's real thick, so he can't see behind him. And where he's at in a tree that creates a little 20-yard opening in there. And it gives him a shooting lane. And when they pop out, they're right on top of you. So you have to be ready. And that's what I told him. Well, this buck was raking the trees, making a scrape. And he got excited. And finally, this deer jumps out into this opening. And he's looking for this other deer. And because I had done some rattling and grunting, he come in all bristled up. He was ready to fight, and he jumps out in that field. And this young man got so excited, he fell out of the tree. Uh, Never got his bow drawn back. Fell out the tree, and he like to gave that deer a heart attack. That deer jumped 6 foot in the air, stared at him for a while, trying to figure out what in the world just happened, and then blowed and took off. But I've had the privilege of meeting some great people in my lifetime, great memories, great friendships. That's one thing I like about YouTube. I love the YouTube Catfish family, the community, the meet and greets, CatCon, anything like that where we get to meet each other, get to fellowship and enjoy each other. It's great. Hey, Nick. I take this same young man fishing. He does not have good luck fishing. Take him out, and we'll be out there and catching fish, and he's not. And he's like, well, you got the best spot, so I'll trade him spots, and I'll move to where he's fishing at, and I'll start catching them. And at that point, he kind of gives up and becomes a spectator. But I try and encourage him. I take him out in the outdoors as many times as I could. Him being new to hunting and fishing, a lot of people were scared to take him out because, they didn't know how he was going to act. First year I took him out turkey hunting. I get him out, and I'm sitting about 20 yards behind him to where I can call and I can see everything happening in front of me. And we get out there and call this turkey up, and sure enough, it comes in, and I'm 20 yards behind him, and I didn't even bring a gun. I'm trying to get him on a bird. And this turkey is gobbling its head off, walking back and forth. And he brings his gun up, and I think he's going to shoot. And he doesn't. He puts the gun back down, and I'm watching this turkey go back and forth. And this had to go on for a good 30 minutes. And he'd bring his gun up and put it back down. And finally, I had to let that turkey walk off. And I let the turkey walk off, and I get up to him, and I'm like, man, what's the problem? And he's like, I'm sorry. He's like, I got so excited. He said that turkey was so close when it gobbled. He said, I could feel it vibrate inside of me. And, he got so excited about the turkey and stuff that he never even shot it. He got caught up. I'd taken him out deer hunting, and he's scared to death of wild pigs. And we have a lot of wild pigs down here. And he goes in. He's scared of the dark. At the sound of the first coyote, if he is close to the pickup, when you come out of the woods, he will be sitting at that truck waiting on you. I took him to this place, and great deer population, but it's got a lot of wild pigs and turkey too. And he takes his bow in, and he takes his 40 caliber pistol in. And we're sitting there, and he's hunting on one side, and I'm up from him. And it starts, hey, Miss Lori, welcome. And see something from two stands. That's awesome, Stan. I know Roger's going to fish the Potomac too. Hey, Sunfish. But it starts getting dark, and he calls me on my cell phone. And I'm like, man, what's going on? And he's like, Dave, he's like, you got to come in here and get me. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, you got to come to my stand and get me. And I'm like, why? What's going on? Are you okay? He's like, yeah, I'm okay. He said, but there's about 30 pigs underneath me. And I said, do what? He's like, there's about 30 pigs underneath me. I said, shoot one. I said, that's why it's called hunting. When you shoot one, they will scatter. And he's a lot of fun. Uh, we were walking into our deer stands one night and or early one morning, dark, and everything was froze. We had a big ice storm, and we walked by this pond, and this tree limb breaks out of this pond and falls about 30 foot and hits the water, breaks the ice. He drops his bow and everything and takes off running in the dark with his flashlight through the trees to the pickup. And that's all I could see was that light going through the trees. I tried to stop him. He was not slowing down. And I picked his bow and stuff up and I walked back to the truck and I'm like, dude, what are you doing? He's like, it was a pig. I said, that was not a pig. They do not do 30-foot high dives from trees. And he was so scared. He's like, Dave, I'm not moving until it's daylight. So I left him at the truck and went back to my stand. And when it got daylight to where he could see, he come in. No sunfish. I never use dog for deer hunting. I bow hunt mainly now. I have not shot a black powder or a rifle at a deer in probably 30 years or more. Uh, I do love my guns, but I love bow hunting. Bow hunting to me it's very challenging. It's an adrenaline rush. It's a great sense of accomplishment. I bow hunt pigs, deer, turkey. I love to bow hunt. But this young man, he's a lot of fun. Uh, I was working nights one time, and it's about 4:30 in the morning, and I'm 2.5 hours away. And he's going into the deer stand, and he calls me on the phone, and he's out of breath. And I'm like, dude, what's going on? He's like, there's a skunk with rabies. He's like, it's chasing me through the woods. I can hear it in the leaves. And I'm like, dude, I'm 2.5 hours away. What do you expect me to do about it? And he is so funny. Uh, yeah, I love bow hunting too, Matt. This guy is so funny. Uh, I always tell everybody it's like he's like a cross between Barney Fife and Elmer Fudd. Uh, when he first got into bow hunting, I got him the bow, got him set up, and he lived in these apartments. And he was playing, hey, big city. He was playing with his bow one night and messing around, and he shot an arrow in through the neighbor's apartment. And I'm like, how did you manage that? And he's like, it accidentally went off. Uh, so, he's a lot of fun, uh, but he is a handful. You have to keep your eyes on him. But he's a great guy. Love him to death. I still take him hunting, still take him fishing. Uh, he got into deer hunting with me, and I would scout the deer out and find out where they're at, and I'd take him and took him out, set him up on these deer, and he was getting into grunt calls. He went and bought him a deer grunt. We get out there, and these bucks were still in their bachelor group, and about 6 of them walked by him, and he went to draw, and they seen him. So they run and they skirted around. They come over there by me. I'm sitting there watching the whole thing. He grabs that deer grunt and he starts trying to call, and I don't know what he's doing. It sounded like he was crying into that deer grunt because he's out there and he's like, bah, bah, and then deer stopped and they stared back at his direction, even though he scared them pulling the bow back. They stood there for a good 15 minutes trying to figure out what the hell he was, because he got on that deer grunt, and some guy threw a corn on the cob through there, and he went to crying and whining through that, and it was hilarious. And he's probably run off more deer than most people see in their lifetime. But took him out after he fell out of the first tree. I always make him wear a safety harness. I make him wear the harnesses religiously because I don't want to have to go to explain to his family that something happened because he could not sit in the tree. So I found this spot and I put him in it, and I put one of them double ladder stands up so he'd have extra room. He could move around. He wasn't nervous because he's also afraid of heights. And he did not tell me this until the second year we were hunting together, and we went out there to hang stands. And I'm like, man, you should have just told me. He's like, well, I didn't want to be a baby and make it harder on you. I said, man, fear is fear. If you're afraid of heights, you're afraid of heights. It doesn't matter what you're afraid of. Fear is fear. And I got him them double ladders because he was more comfortable in them. And we had trail cameras. This big 12-point buck that was coming through, and chasing does. And so we go out there. Lori, if he hadn't commented. I know I send him the link and stuff. I work with him, so I'm sure he probably is, but he's not going to come in here and probably say anything because then he doesn't want everyone to know who I'm talking about. And I get him in this double ladder, and he takes a book out there hunting with him. And he's sitting out there, and he's reading a book. And this 12, he doesn't even know it's even happening. This 12-point deer comes chasing a doe, runs right underneath him. And all he could do was watch it go away because he was into that book instead of paying attention to what he should be doing. Yeah, ground blind stand. My kids growing up, I raised my kids hunting and fishing, and I would always take them out and ground blinds. Uh, hey, Mike Turner, my kids have been fishing since before they could even walk. I would take them out in their car seats and set them out there with me, and they grew up doing it. But deer blinds are a great way to be on the ground. Some places you can't get trees, so it helps a lot. But my kids, they've been in the outdoors their whole life. Uh, yeah, you got to keep your eyes peeled during the rut, Digabound, especially because all it takes is one doe to bring him in. Uh, but he has gotten better. He's learned a lot. He's a lot of fun. I'm trying to get him into fishing more. Uh, my wife, I love for her to go fishing with me. She's a great fishing partner. But if I'm catching fish and she's not usually having a good time, and she'll want to leave. But she doesn't care if she's catching bluegill as long as she's catching something. And yeah, guys, Lloyd, if y'all can pick him up. Mo Barrett, I fish river. Sometimes I can get to the Red River. I fish creeks. I fish several lakes. There are some other rivers here in Oklahoma that I haven't got to fish yet, but I'm wanting to sprout out this year and go try them. Uh, I love a challenge. Uh, Alicia Barnett, I got to feel that tug. Don't care what it is. Yeah, that's the way she is. She will go out with ultralight tackle and catch them bluegill and stuff for bait. And on them ultralights, she will have a blast. Yeah, we have them too here, Lance. We have mountain lions. Uh, you got to watch them here too. Uh, Years and years ago, one of the deer leases I had, it started out with just one mountain lion, and then it became a pair, and then they started breeding. And I was actually attacked by them one night. I was uh, I was coming out of the woods, and it was dark, and all I had was my bow and my knife, and this mountain lion uh, attacked me from behind and cut me up pretty good. All I could do, I grabbed my knife and I stabbed him. I made it back out, made it to the car. Hey, Mike Irvin, uh, I was bleeding everywhere. Had to go to the hospital. Uh, and at that time, they were a protected species here. And the game wardens come to the hospital and they're like, well, did you kill it? And I said, well, yeah, I'm pretty sure. And they were upset because it was a protected species. And I told them, I said, I'm going to tell you right now, I take my little kids out there hunting. And if it comes to a choice between your cat and my kids, you're going to have a dead cat every time. And that all blew over. And now there's so many of them here. They're everywhere. Those Black Panthers, guys, I don't know if y'all notice it, but if you hit them Black Panthers with the light, their eyes are the prettiest turquoise you'll ever see. Beautiful, beautiful animals. Uh, but is there anyone in chat that has any questions or anything they would like to know? Guys, I have no secrets. I'm an open book. I share everything with everybody. Hey, Stan, catching fish is fun. I would love to make a trip up to the Tennessee River, and I would do it just to catch the skipjack. I could go out there and catch skipjack and have a blast. Uh, when I catch my bait, it's all on, hey, CBA, it's all on very light tackle, ultralight tackle, and puts up a fight. I have a great time. Uh, I will have to say this. My wife is a lot better and at catching bluegill than I am. Mo Barrett, I do not have a boat anymore. Uh, my wife wants me to get another one. I've had them in the past. I really enjoy my bank fishing because I can spread out. I'm a big old boy. I take up lots of room. Uh, I'm kind of like an elephant in a china cabinet. I like to be able to move. Uh, but she definitely wants me to get another boat. Yeah, see, we don't have skipjack here. Uh, we have gizzard shad, but this year, for the first year this winter, we had a complete freeze over. Our lakes froze completely over for the first time in Oklahoma that I can even remember. And we had a major shad kill. Uh, After the shad kill, it has been really, really hard to get on the shad. Now, down here, it's warm enough. The shad will spawn twice a year and they'll replenish themselves, but it's going to take a while. And a lot of the times, especially in the summer months, unless you're out there early before daylight or late at night, the shad move out into the deeper holes. But uh, bluegill works just fine, but I am a shad guy. That's our natural forage fish. And if my bait of choice it is the gizzard shad. Shad per days in your lake, Alicia? Yeah. Uh, Shad is my favorite bait to use. Uh, I've had great success with it. Uh, Now, if I'm going in one of the rivers or the creeks, shad is not my best bait because you don't see a lot of shad in them. Uh, Bluegills, goldfish, even in the creeks, are good. Uh, the bullheads, the mudcats, are exceptional bait in the creeks and for flathead. Flathead love them. Uh, Down here in Oklahoma, we are kind of lucky. You can use just about anything for bait here. You can even use crappie as long as you catch it. You can't catch them in a cast net, but you can catch them on rod and reel. Yeah, Lance. The local lakes around me, where I'm at, uh, there's 4 city lakes here. But on these city lakes, hey, Lee Evans, they will not let you use a cast net. Uh, but the other lakes I go to, you can cast net. Uh, uh, Kind of watching chat. Uh, yeah, the pigs here are not, they're considered feral. They don't have a season on them. You can kill pigs year round. Uh, it's better to do it in the winter months because of the ticks and the worms and stuff like that. Uh, but there are plenty of wild hogs down here. They're really populating, they're taking over. At one time, they were going to try and make them a sport animal, but there are so many of them and they are so thick. They get into the farmers' fields and they're tearing up the land, rooting and stuff. And people started trying to make the state pay for the damages. So that's when the state of Oklahoma threw their hands up and they're like, we have no jurisdiction over them. So that's why the wild pigs, uh, 1.5 million. Yeah, there's a bunch of them. Uh, they're everywhere. Uh, they are good eating. Uh, I don't hunt just to hunt. I don't fish just to fish. Uh, if I keep a fish, I'm going to eat that fish. Uh, yeah, one mature sow can have 3 liters a year. Uh, they spread quickly. Uh, so, like I said, this year we've had a yeah, yeah, Mo. I'm sure you can in Texas too. They got the same problem we do. Yeah, my daughter, my oldest daughter, uh, she married a guy from California. Uh, he does not know a lot. My daughter will get out there even at a young age. She will skin a deer, dress a pig. She will get right out there in the guts. Uh, like I said, I raised her on my own. She never really had a mother figure, so she's kind of tomboy. Uh, hey, Big Mike, it's hard to say, but my daughter is probably more manly than my son is. And as far as work goes, I would take my girls out to work before I would my boys because my girls will work circles around my boys. And every one of my daughters have married a tall, scrawny man. They, I don't know if they just picked somebody that they knew they could beat up, and that's why they decided to marry them. Uh, I give them a hard time, and I tell them they all married worms. I don't know what the deal is, but as long as they're happy and they treat them right, that's all I care about. Well, guys, we've been on here for an hour. Hey, Becca, uh, I'm going to go ahead and end this thing and get off of here. I appreciate everybody coming in. I'll get set up and get a guest in here for next week. Uh, Guys, if any of y'all would like to be a guest, contact me at countryboycatfishing@gmail.com. Look me up on Facebook. Uh, Either way, if there's something you'd like to see, be sure to let me know, because that's what I'm here for, guys. I'm here for y'all. I want this to be educational when we do our shows. I want you to learn stuff from them. I want you to be able to uh, gain knowledge and be more successful on the water. So I appreciate everybody being in here. I love each and every one of y'all. I can't thank y'all enough. Excuse me. I've got to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, get ready for work. And at least now y'all got a little bit of history about me and know a little bit more about me. Like I say, guys, I have no secrets. So if you have any questions, anytime, feel free to ask me. I'm more than happy to share. Uh, so I appreciate it, guys. Everyone have a good night. Stay safe. And we'll be back next week, same time. Have a good one.